Boy, TikTok is not where I go for my advice. I'm just going to throw that out there right now.
But I have seen some finfluencers who do give out good information, so stick around for that story.
All right, looking forward to that. Thanks so much for joining us here on this Thursday morning, 6 a.m. I'm Eric Connor.
I'm Stella Escobedo. Let's go ahead and check in with Netta now. We're expecting rain.
Yes, we are. Yes, not quite yet. Today will be a cool, cloudy kind of day. Cooler than yesterday even. And we may not see the sun. I know that gets depressing, but hey, we can get through it because the weekend is looking nice and sunny. So for now, San Miguel's view, there's the cloud coverage widespread across our area. As we see that daylight, you'll definitely notice the grayness. So cloudy and cool today, morning drizzle possible. Now tonight, more widespread rain expected to arrive through tomorrow morning. So the peak of this is actually going to be right around this time tomorrow. The weekend warming up, staying dry. For now, though, satellite imagery showing plenty of clouds. It's going to tap into some of this moisture, and I'll time it all out for you coming up in just a little bit. Jenny.
Hey, there are some smart people posting their information on TikTok, so it just depends on their experience because they can post it on TikTok, social media, their website, but it depends on who it is. So nothing wrong with getting your info from the talk these days, depending on who it's coming from. 6:01, good morning to you. Travel times are fine. One crash that I want to mention, it has turned into an exclamation mark, so I think the more crews are coming. North on the 15, right after Villa Rancho, that right-hand shoulder is blocked. The crash has been here for quite some time. I don't see any delays, and it looks like a new crash just popped in. This is south on the 15, right past the 78, so I will monitor that for you and bring you more information in my next report.
Jenny, thank you. And this just in, Pfizer has asked the FDA for emergency approval of its COVID-19 vaccine for children ages 5 to 11.
Yeah, the company applied for emergency use authorization here this morning. Pfizer's vaccine has already been fully approved for teens over 16 and has emergency use authorization for kids over 12. An FDA committee is set to discuss vaccines for younger children on October 26th. A final decision is expected sometime after Halloween. Keep in mind, California will become the first state in the nation to require COVID vaccines for students pending FDA full approval.
Well, local leaders are reacting to the city of Los Angeles passing one of the strictest COVID vaccine mandates in the nation.
LA will now require proof of vaccination or a negative COVID test before you can step inside most public places. News 8's Evan Rani live outside the county administration building with what local leaders are saying about all this. Evan?
Yeah, good morning to both of you, Stella and Eric. A lot of people now wondering across San Diego County whether we will be next in line to follow in Los Angeles's footsteps in requiring that COVID-19 vaccine for any indoor public spaces. After talking with supervisors Jim Desmond and Nathan Fletcher, they both agree we are in a different place here in San Diego than Los Angeles in terms of our number of people vaccinated, in terms of hospitalizations, and that really does give us a the upper hand in terms of not having to require those vaccines everywhere we go. Our vaccination numbers in terms of the people who have received at least one of those vaccine shots is at about 90%. And for full vaccinations, we're at about 80% versus Los Angeles, where they're at about 60%. So after their city council passed that mandate yesterday, both supervisors Fletcher and Desmond say that they don't think we will be following in their footsteps.
Given the extremely high rate of vaccination in San Diego County, given the declining number of cases, declining hospitalizations, it just doesn't seem that this would be the time to impose that additional burden.
The new crisis, I think, is kind of an unintended consequence of these mandatory vaccinations, is the loss of our first responders. Where a year ago they were heroes. When we didn't have the vaccine, and they were able to help and still work in the hospitals and everything, and now they can't.
Now, LA City Council will require anyone entering indoor venues like restaurants, bars, gyms, shopping centers, and concert halls to provide proof of vaccination or a negative COVID-19 test. LA businesses caught in violation of the mandate will receive a warning and then fines up to $5,000. The public health director also says 60% of LA's 10.3 million residents have been fully vaccinated. This is in comparison to about 80% here in San Diego. Los Angeles hopes hopes that, of course, these numbers will require more people to get vaccinated, or at least will lead more people to get vaccinated in Los Angeles County. Keep in mind, this does still impact San Diego residents who go up to Los Angeles County. However, for us here in San Diego specifically, it does not seem like we will be following in a similar path. Now, that vaccine mandate for Los Angeles will go into effect on November 6th. For us here in San Diego, businesses themselves can still ask for that. However, it will not be mandated. It will not be up to individual businesses to require that, and the city won't be or the county won't be imposing fines on any businesses that don't check vaccines if they choose to do so. Outside of the county administration building, I'm Evan Irani, News 8.
Evan, thank you. New this morning, a suspected DUI driver is in custody after crashing in Chula Vista. It happened just before 1 this morning on the J Street off-ramp near the 5 South. Witnesses say the driver crashed into a barrier. It took firefighters 30 minutes to rescue the man inside, and he was taken to the hospital. Another suspected DUI crash, this time involving a wrong-way driver in Lakeside. This happened just before 11:30 last night on the 67 North near Winter Gardens Boulevard. A witness says the driver hit a guardrail, then ended up down in the drainage canal. The driver was taken to the hospital. He's expected to survive, and no one else was hurt.
And right now, the search is on for 2 men who robbed a store in El Cajon. It happened around 2:15 this morning at the Walgreens on North 2nd Street. Police say the men went inside, stole some medicine, then took off. Thankfully, no one was hurt. Anyone with information is asked to call El Cajon police. This morning, officials here in San Diego say they are ready to respond if oil from that pipeline break in Orange County makes its way to our beaches. Right now, the oil is moving south, but the county says there is no immediate threat to San Diego. They're already taking steps to protect our waterways. Officials say they've put a protective barrier near the Santa Margarita River on Camp Pendleton. Meantime, the Coast Guard is looking into whether a cargo ship may have played a role in the spill. The Padres have a big job opening to fill. They are looking for a new manager. It's something we were talking about just yesterday, and then boom, it happened.
Here we go. The team fired Jayce Tingler after 2 seasons. News 8's Chris Crow live outside Petco Park with reaction to this, as well as what's next. A lot of fans weighing in on this one, Chris.
A lot of fans weighing in because at around the beginning of the season, we all thought that it would be the Padres that would be in the playoffs, potentially facing off against the Los Angeles Dodgers or maybe even the San Francisco Giants. But instead, it's those 2 teams that will be facing each other in the playoffs while the Padres are busy trying to find a new manager. The big slide at the end of the season, a huge part of the reason why Tingler was relieved of his duties.
The baseball we played over the last 2 months, and I've said this to everybody I've talked to, players, staff, everything. I mean, obviously there's a lot of reasons why you go and play at a 12-30 clip or whatever that was at the end of the season. It's never one thing. It's not a single managerial decision, a strategy decision. Now's really the time to sit back and go, okay, how do we make sure this that we get this right here going forward? And I think obviously the change today that's a step, and we'll keep looking at some other things from the season.
And look, this is quite the fall from grace because it was just last year we were all singing the praises of manager Jayce Tingler, taking the Padres to the playoffs during that COVID-shortened season, finishing second in the ballot for National League Manager of the Year. This was someone who looked to be on an upward trajectory along with the Padres. That's why they made a lot of the moves that they did during the offseason this year to try to get them over the hump. So in August, when they had the best record in baseball, 50 games into the season, a lot of people didn't think that it would quite end this way, but they did end up finishing sub 500. So this was, again, quite a fall here for Jayce Tingler and the Padres. So now they will be looking for a new skipper here, a new person to lead this team, and fans are anxious to see who it could end up being.
I think that they just need somebody that's a lot more aggressive. They can manage multiple talents, not just the one guy like we started out with Manny, And I think that now there's too many hotheads on that team. You got to have some kind of median. You know what I mean? I don't think he's that guy.
And of course, Tingler did release a statement after his firing saying, quote, "It's been an honor and a privilege of a lifetime to manage the San Diego Padres and lead this group of men. I'm truly thankful for the opportunity and grateful for the tireless efforts of our players, coaches, and support staff over the last 2 years. While I'm profoundly disappointed that our season ended far too soon, I know this team has a very bright future ahead." Now, again, Tingler really only spending 2 seasons with the Padres. That first one that resulted in the first playoff appearance in 13 years was a COVID-shortened season. So this is not someone who maybe, as some people are pointing out, had as much time as maybe other managers have in order to try to get a team right. But it's that precipitous fall there that we saw happen towards the end of the season that a lot of people are pointing out just cannot be excusable. Eric and Stella?
Yeah, it's not how you start sometimes, it's how you finish, right? Thanks, Chris, for that.
That is true. Hey, another cloudy day today, and then you're tracking some rain?
Yes. So that's exactly what's happening. So cool and cloudy to start off. This is what you're looking at right here. You're looking at obviously gray, overcast skies again. And I know it gets kind of sad in San Diego when we don't get to see the sun. It will be out for the weekend. So for now, our overall skies, of course, overcast for most of the day today before we actually start to see the rain. Right now, though, just a heads up, you may notice a light drizzle, and then you see the moisture. So really it's this line that we're watching that's coming right towards Southern California, towards Baja, and the low is going to sweep that in. So what that's going to do is really tap into subtropical moisture, and that's why we're looking at rain chances for tonight. Right now visibility is fine. A lot of these clouds are sitting up a little bit higher. Relative humidity is up there because of all that moisture in the air, so you're probably feeling that stickiness, and also again that drizzle possible. 68 degrees if you are downtown San Diego. Winds are calm, so with this system, strong west winds will be coming too. So we're going to see 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts in our mountains and in our deserts, and all of us will notice the breeze. Not quite yet. Right now is really calm. The next few hours our temperatures will only get up to 70 degrees by the warmest time of the day for downtown San Diego under these overcast skies. So the green you just saw, that's that light drizzle that's possible, and then throughout the day this is your cloud coverage that we will definitely be noticing. And then by late tonight, so a lot of these forecast models are showing after midnight through early morning tomorrow. That's when that rain is coming through. So 6 a.m. tomorrow will likely be a busy time out here on the roads. That's what, right around this time in 24 hours from now. Brace yourselves.